Right, I think. I just need to click on this as well. I think we're actually live streaming now across the social platforms, which I wasn't able to do last week, but I think I have figured it out. Let's see. Yep, yep, that's good. Just got to check in on my Instagram because you have a wee bit extra to do on Instagram to actually stream live. So and the truth is, I have no idea this is actually working, so I'm just going to go for it anyway. So, thank you everybody if you're joining us on our live stream today at this week's episode of Satori Sessions. And we've brought this back to run a quick live session every Wednesday. Meant to be 10 a.m., but I had a couple of meetings this morning, so I had to move it to this afternoon just to talk about relevant business topics, things that we help people with at Satori Accounting, experience that we have, experience that we want to share with small business owners to help them with more energy, more time, and more money in their business as well. So today's topic is getting paid faster, and things that you can and should be doing in your small business to make sure you're getting paid faster by your customers. Particularly relevant for people who are in the service industry, and maybe like ourselves, they're in professional services, B2B, applies to B2C business structure as well, of course. So I want to share 7 tips that makes it a lot easier to get paid by your customers. And share a few tips around, I suppose, technology that we would recommend as well that you can use to automate some of this and to make it easier. One of the things, a couple of things I want to share with everybody who's listening today in relation to getting paid faster is a couple of things. Make it easy to make the payment. If you make it really, really easy for people to pay you, um, then you're more likely to get paid sooner, paid within your normal terms. And the other thing is polite persistence pays. This is a phrase I learned years ago from one of the actual startup tech companies in this area. And to get customers to pay within the normal time frame, you should be automating and doing things politely, but be persistent about it. And lo and behold, it will turn up results. A lot of people, especially small business owners, especially if it's a one-person operation, it can be a difficult area, and that's because of the human factor. There's a fear of what you're going to be judged like, how people might think about you, what they might say to you to actually object to certain things whenever it comes to actually setting out terms and asking to get paid. For some people, it's not so much of an issue. They're happy enough just to say, look, this is the way our business works. This is our price. This is our payment terms. And they're happy enough to say, regurgitate that. What I would say is no matter what stage you're at, no matter how difficult or how challenging you have found this before, it is all about practice and it's all about getting into a bit of a flow. But hopefully, the 7 tips I'm going to share today is of use to anybody who is finding it a wee bit tricky. And they can implement these 7 tips pretty easily as well. So let me see. I'm going to actually present. Um, let's see. Present. Share screen. So I'm going to share this one here, and let's hope it all comes through well enough for you as well. So, 7 ways to ensure customers pay on time every time. For those of you who don't know who I am as well, my name is Kieran Phelan. I'm the CEO and founder of Satori Accounting. We're an award-winning digital cloud-based accounting firm in Derry in Northern Ireland. We've been operating now for about 14 years this year. And I personally was the first certified zero advisor in Northern Ireland way back in 2010. And we use Zero every single day for every single client that we work with. And I've been using Zero for our own business for 14 years, along with obviously tons of other tech that's out there now. We've built a tech stack which we like and which seems to work for us. So let me just go through and see what we've got here. Okay, so tip number 1 in terms of getting paid faster, discussing the costs and terms up front. This is the biggest tip, and that's why it's tip number 1, and it's also the tip which is in chronological order of how you're actually interacting with your customers. It's the thing that comes first and should come first. Because if you're expecting to get paid a certain amount within certain terms, you might be looking to get paid up front. You might be looking to get paid 50% up front. You might be looking to get paid within 30 days. Whatever your terms are, whatever works for you, it's important to have that discussion up front with your clients and with your customers so that there's no confusion or ambiguity around what the terms are. I will say that we do this pretty well, although I've had an experience recently where I realized I don't think we did it as well as we could have done, and there was a bit of confusion. And I always take it on the chin when somebody says to me, I didn't realize it was this and then that in terms of when payments were going to happen, and I didn't realize I had to pay for that at the same time as this. We did we always try to make it clear, I suppose, but in certain circumstances, if a customer's saying to you they're confused about it, maybe there's just a misunderstanding. Maybe they didn't read through the documents properly. But that is why it's really important when I say discussing, I'm talking about actually talking to your customers. Be really, really clear on what your costs are. Be ready to provide some kind of breakdown because that gives even more clarity. There's nothing hidden, there's no stone unturned, and set the expectations as well. So a payment schedule, for example, can be really handy if you're providing a service and you are expecting to get paid at certain points in time. So once you've agreed everything, what I would say is then set that out on a payment schedule on a one pager that you actually talk to your customer about. So, for example, your price is £500. You're expecting to get paid £100 a month for 5 months. The payment is going to be paid out of their bank account on the 15th of each month, and you will be sending them an invoice every time they're making a payment 7 days in advance. You're making it really, really clear. Do get sign off in terms of all of those terms and conditions as well. So have a template or a written document of some sort which outlines all of that. Give that to your customer, get them to sign off on that because that covers you from a legal perspective, but do have the discussion as well. And actually send them some kind of video recording can actually be really useful from that point of view. Okie dokie. Tip number 2, billing first. So especially when you're providing services, I think it's really, really important to get your invoice out the door as quickly as you can. So make sure you're doing your billing at the earliest possible opportunity. So if you've been asked to provide a service, you should be invoicing at the point in time that the service has been agreed and the price has been agreed. There is really no need for you to invoice after completion. There shouldn't be a need for you even to invoice just as you're about to sort of start the work. You really should be just invoicing at the point in time that the terms are agreed. So that does avoid delays in terms of the payment process as well. And do pitch to your customers that you'd love to get partial payments in place. So for some services, for example, it's about getting at least 50% upfront. For others, it's getting 100% upfront. And you'd be surprised how successful that can be whenever you're just being really clear and open and talking to a customer. How much more willing they are to actually pay you in advance in some kind of format. All right. Tip number 3, automate the invoicing system. So this is kind of a sweet spot for us. We've been using Xero for 14 years, and just to sort of outline our process in relation to invoicing. So when a customer signs up with us at Satori, we are getting them to sign up on the basis of a written proposal and some videos that we've sent them to show them this is what your business needs. This is the price you're going to pay on a monthly basis and when payments are going to happen and so on. And everything's signed off and agreed up front at that stage. When people are clicking to accept a proposal with us, we've automated the system from that point in time. So what happens is they will click the accept and an invoice gets generated in Xero. We click to change that into a recurring invoice. So for example, if they're paying £300 a month, we convert this invoice that has been generated automatically into a repeating monthly invoice. The invoice goes out on the 1st of every month. The due date is set as the 3rd of every month. They are given an automatic link to sign up their direct debit mandate. Their direct debit, which is with Go Cardless, will automatically collect their payments on the 3rd of each month and puts the money into our account on the 5th, 6th of the month or thereabouts. Sometimes just a wee bit longer, depending on weekends, bank holidays, and so on. But the process is automated. And when somebody signs up with us, they're basically signing up really for a 12-month period. We have no clicking or extra work to do. That process is now completely automated for us. And that is the type of model that, because we've done that and we've done it successfully, is the type of model I would bring to another business to say, look, looking at your business model, this is all, we'll look at what's possible and we'll automate those steps with the technology throughout. And if you're completely stuck in relation to one technology linking to another, there's other technologies that will jump in and can be set up to link two things together. But the key is you're looking to automate as much as you possibly can. Zero will do this really, really well in terms of repeating invoices. But you also want to have some kind of flow chart to make sure that the automated system is documented for you so that you can be handing that over to somebody else to take over that at some point in time. That will lead to quicker payments. Getting invoices automated out the door will lead to quicker payments as well. Tip number 4, offering payment plans. So we would do this on occasions whenever somebody is signing up with us for a particular type of project. So they may be signing up for a special type of service, which is more of a one-off. They may be spending £1,000, £2,000, £5,000 on a particular project. And in those circumstances, we will say to them, well, you can either pay, like, it might be 50% upfront, 50% upon completion, or we'll offer you some other payment plans. So we're partners with Iwaka and Iwaka Pay, and we will give the client the option of actually signing a credit agreement with Iwaka. It's a bit like DFS. Okay, you can now pay this on 3 monthly installments, subject to a finance fee. You can pay it in 12-month installments if you're willing to do that. But for us, we're giving clients options. So it's making it easier for you to get paid as a business, because when they sign up with Iwaka, we get paid straight away. And it does make it easier for people when they're doing things on a budget. So they might want to actually cash flow that and budget for it for a year, or they might want to just do it over 3 months or whatever. The point about it is, get some payment options in place that works for you and for your customer. Now, if you're going to stretch it out beyond 3 months, I would honestly say you need to be looking at some other payment solutions, such as Iwaka Pay, because then you'll get paid quicker as a business, and they can take the finance cost on and do it like that. Adding late fees. Now, this is something that is within the legislation, which allows, I think it's like 8% interest. It may have changed in recent times. I'm not 100% familiar because I've never actually used it, but it is an option to encourage your customers and clients to pay. Have it in your terms and conditions that you have the option under the regulations and under the legislation to add late fees, which encourage people to pay on time. I would say that this is something you may want to steer away from where you possibly can, and might be unnecessary if all the other things that you're doing are well implemented and they're strong enough. But I do take it back to the start, talking to people at the outset about what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, when you're going to invoice, and when you expect to get paid. Having those conversations at the start and making it clear at the outset avoids that these types of conversations where it's like, we have the option of doing late fees and we're going to implement that. You're looking to avoid that at all costs, but I just wanted to make people aware that it is an option and you can run with it. Limited lines of credit. So this is possible for loyal, long-standing customers who have no payment issues whatsoever. So it's probably something that you wouldn't implement for every customer. You would implement it for a select few. But certainly, like if somebody's been with you for X length of time and there's a particular thing or service or whatever that they need, and your business can afford to do it from your own cash flow perspective, then you might want to say to them, look, pay that over 3 months. We'll invoice you now. And you can actually do this and go cardless even. You can set up a payment schedule so you can bill up front, and then you can go cardless and break it down into different payments. Again, limited, I would recommend limited usage, but it is an option. It builds but more trust between you and your customer, especially for loyal customers. It's something worth thinking about. The final tip is in relation to rewarding customers and to incentivize people along the way. So one of the options you might have is, for example, if you pay your credit terms, for example, maybe 30 days, if you pay within 15 days, there's a 1% or 1.5% discount or something like that. You would try to build that obviously into your pricing model because it's going to be a cost to your business. But if on an ongoing basis, you are struggling to get some money in within certain terms, you need to be talking to your customers first and foremost. You need to strengthen your procedures at the start of the whole process when you're selling and pricing your services. But certainly, this is another option. Now, bear in mind, this is going to be a cost to the business. So if you've priced something at £1,000 and you're going to offer a 2% discount, yeah, you are going to take a bit of a hit. It's nothing major, obviously, it's only a few pounds, but if you multiply that out over a number of customers, the discount cost can add up. But again, I just wanted to make sure that that is clear as an option and another thing that you might be able to implement in your business. So you really do want to stop losing money due to poor cash flow management, because there are high money costs and high time and high energy costs in relation to cash flow management. And getting people to pay you on time, if you can implement all of these 7 tips or whatever select number of them is going to work for your business, it'll give you better cash flow management. That actually relieves you from a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety and worry about when people are going to pay money into your account, how you're going to meet your month-end bills, how you're going to pay yourself. And if you're operating a business and you're going into overdraft, you've obviously got the cost of that as well. So that's why these tips in particular, offering people that sort of walk a pay option and so on, takes the risk away from your business, get your customer on board with a payment option, but gets money into your bank account sooner as well. Based on all of these things and based on our experience, based on our usage of Zero and all of these other apps, if you do want to get help with that, then please just go on to our webpage at satoriaccounting.com and you'll see a button very near the start to book a discovery call where we can help you with these types of things. So thanks for watching today. That's some of my details there, and details you'll get in contact with the team. We've got our hello email address. We're based down at the Orchard Business Park there in Pennyburn. And that is us. Thank you very much for watching. Join me again next week when I will be covering another topic as yet to be decided. Some tips for small business owners on how to make more energy, time, and money for you in your life and in your business as well. But today, thanks very much for watching. Join us again next week, folks.